Divorced, signed the divorce form.
Declared my husband, who, swayed by my Mill's lies, had forced me and my kids out into the cold. But that was impossible, as we were never married in the first place. I revealed the truth to my husband. From now on, I will find happiness with my kids. My name is Aurea. Shortly after our 2 daughters were born, my husband passed away suddenly. With both my parents already gone, I relied on my uncle, my father's brother, and his wife who lived nearby. We persevered as a family of 3 in the home my husband left behind. My uncle and his wife, childless themselves, had treated me like their own daughters since my early years. I began working as an office clerk at my uncle's company. From the time I got married, I had been a homemaker. While nurturing a faint dream of earning income through my hobby of sewing, I enjoyed making and dressing my daughters in handmade clothes. However, when my husband passed away, it became challenging. Recognizing the need for a stable income in raising 2 kids, my uncle offered me a position at his manufacturing company. Not a large one, but one that took pride in producing quality goods.
Crossed paths at the company. Divorced once, his ex-wife was his colleague. Uncomfortable at the company, decided to change jobs. Diligent and dedicated to his work. Gentle personality, became someone relied upon by those around him.
Started dating. Promise of marriage followed.
Took care of my kids. Kids grew fond of him.
Viewed the situation positively. Reservations due to recent passing of ex-husband. Moved forward with marriage. Uncle became witness. Forgoing wedding ceremony, registering marriage when things settled down. New chapter with Noah moving into the house left by ex-husband. Suggested selling the house and renting an apartment. Thought Noah might be uncomfortable living in the same place. Noah assured me there's no need for that. The kids are familiar with this place. Thought he said that considering our situation. More to it.
Only child, raised by single mother. Lived with mother since childhood. Devoted to mother, concerned about mother living alone. Expressed worry for her.
Initially thought he was a kind person. Gradually felt like it went beyond that. Felt a bit off, hoping no problems would arise in the future.
Decided to live together with mother. I've decided to live together with my mom.
One night after putting the kids to bed, Noah told me out of the blue,
It's fine, right? There's a spare room?
It's not about that.
Then what is it about?
You can't just decide on such important things without consulting me.
Why not?
If my mom wants it, you should follow along. What?
Are you against my mom coming?
It's not about being against.
Then what is it about?
You can't just decide on such important things without consulting me.
Why not?
If my mom wants it, you should follow along. I just need time to think about it.
Why do you need to think? Leaving my aging mom alone like this, is that what you want?
I thought you were a more compassionate person. I mean, there had been times when I vaguely considered living with my Mill someday, but I had only met her once when I went to introduce myself when I got remarried. I didn't know much about her personality. While Noah had told me countless good things about his mother, she was still an unknown person to me. Living together suddenly without knowing each other's personalities well seems too abrupt. Trying to move into a house with her DIL and grandchildren she barely knew seemed too forceful. However, I couldn't say that to Noah, who prioritized his mother above all else. Unable to give a clear answer, I kept it ambiguous, but these weren't the people who understood my feelings. On the next day off, Mary, my Mill, rolled in with her belongings. Hi Aurea, I'm looking forward to living with you from now on. Awa, I'm so happy to live in such a spacious house. It's all thanks to Noah marrying you. I'm blessed to have such a good son. Despite this house being built by my late husband for our family, Mary remained blissfully oblivious, seemingly wanting to credit everything to her achievements. However, it appeared she had already canceled her apartment contract, and I couldn't simply kick her out, so I had no choice. I agreed to let her have one of the vacant rooms, and that's when cohabitation began. For the kids, having someone they'd only met once intrude into their lives and suddenly be told to call her grandma was bewildering. My kids clung to me, keeping their distance from Mary. Yet Mary would comment, "These kids lack charm, don't they? Well, they're not Noah, so it can't be helped. Gloria, you should be more strict on them." She complained to me, without lifting a finger, to help with nursery pickups, meals, or bath time, all tasks I had taken care of even before she moved in. That wasn't the only issue. Mary never lifted a finger to help with household chores. With an extra adult in the house, the burden increased significantly. Mary didn't work, spending her days watching TV. Occasionally, she would go out and come back with whatever she fancied. If she had the luxury to do that, I wished she would at least contribute to the living expenses. But she never offered a single penny. While I wanted to establish some rules regarding cohabitation in advance, it seemed too late to do anything now. Any attempt to voice concerns to Mary would result in tenfold criticism.
Mary seemed displeased with everything I did, whether it was about cleaning, folding laundry, meal timings, seasoning, or my attitude toward Noah. The list was endless, despite me juggling work, parenting, and household chores to the best of my ability. Noah, who used to help take care of my kids, became inseparable from Mary whenever he was at home after she started living with us.
Noah, your mother is still healthy, so maybe she could help a bit. Just asking for assistance with the kids would be a relief. I think it would help the kids get along with their grandma.
What are you talking about? Mom raised me alone all this time, worked tirelessly, and went through a lot. I want to give her a break.
Then can you please help me a bit more?
I'm working hard in a hot workplace all year round, and there's overtime every day. You're in an air-conditioned office and can leave on time. I don't see why you can't handle it.
Well, but
Working full-time, doing household chores and parenting after coming home, I don't have a moment for myself. I hope to have time after the kids go to bed, but I end up sleeping with them due to exhaustion, and before I know it, it's morning. This kind of life has been going on for a long time. Is it wrong to ask for help from my husband and MIL? There was one more thing I wanted to say to Mary, was about the significant increase in utility bills since she moved in. Electricity, water, gas, there was excessive wastefulness. Despite my efforts to be frugal and eliminate waste, Mary would leave her room's lights and TV on continuously.
If I turned them off, she says, I was gonna go back to my room soon. Why did you turn it off?
She used the shower multiple times a day, even for a brief outing. The shower and hairdryer were used without hesitation. The shampoo and body soap consumption was also overwhelming.
could you cooperate a bit more with saving?
When I said this to Noah, he just replied, "She's lived a poor life as a single mother. Let her do as she pleases."
Unable to do anything, I decided to gently ask Mary myself.
Mary, I've been telling my kids not to waste electricity and water. It would be great if you could also cooperate.
In response, Mary stared at me and said, forcing a cramped life on the kids, aren't you? She made a sarcastic remark but reluctantly said, well, I get it. I'm living on Noah's earnings, so I'll endure a bit for his sake.
It seemed she understood, at least outwardly. However, it turned out Mary was only pretending to understand. In reality, she had different intentions. As usual, after putting the kids to sleep and dozing off myself, I was abruptly awakened by Noah.
"Gloria, what did you say to Mom?"
Still half asleep, I didn't immediately grasp what was happening. Noah was glaring at me with an intense expression.
"Why are you such a heartless person?"
Huh? Wait. I don't understand what you're talking about. Besides, the kids are waking up. As I spoke, our eldest daughter Hazel woke up, and the youngest Iris began to fuss.
"Arya, didn't you tell Mom not to use water and electricity?" Mom was shivering in a dark and cold room without turning on lights or the heater. "Who do you think enables you to live this life? I didn't expect you to be such a person."
While holding the crying Iris, I reflected on the situation. I had no memory of telling such things to Mary, and this wasn't a house Noah had built.
Noah, I didn't say anything like that. I just asked for a bit more cooperation in saving water and electricity.
Your choice of words must have been bad. Mom was shocked by your harsh words. You made her feel terrible.
That's not true.
I was foolish to believe Mary, who sincerely apologized. She had been feeding lies to Noah, and he was more inclined to believe her than me.
Arya apologized to Mom.
But
If you apologize, she would understand. Why do I have to apologize?
Tears were welling up, but it seemed I had no choice. Mary spoke sarcastically face to face and planted lies with Noah behind back. I endured each day while enduring her attitude. How long would this continue? The year-end chill settled in as work went on holiday from today and Noah went out for shopping. Mary went out with her friends, so she was also not at home. With my kids, we spent a peaceful afternoon, reading picture books and drinking hot chocolate. As we relaxed, I noticed white flakes gently falling outside the window.
Look, Hazel, Iris, it's snowing.
Excitedly, Hazel and Iris ran to the window exclaiming, "Wow!"
I want to make one too.
Yes, we can make a big snowman tomorrow morning.
As the kids cheered with joy, Hazel suddenly stopped.
Hazel?
I sighed internally. They were back already. I need to start preparing dinner before they complained again. Just as I was about to stand up, Noah burst through the front door with a shout.
Arya,
Huh? What's wrong?
I rushed to the entrance, wearing my sandals.
What happened?
why didn't you let Mom inside?
What?
If she catches a cold outside on such a cold day, what will you do?
When I looked at Mary, wiping away tears, I couldn't understand what was happening. She slipped past Noah and me into the house.
You're the one who locked her out, right?
What?
Don't play dumb. She said you locked her out.
That's not true.
No matter how much she called, you didn't let her in.
What? Why would I do that?
Arya, you rejected living with Mom, didn't you? Isn't this your way of expressing it?
The?
Why would that be the case? While arguing at the entrance, Hazel and Iris came outside.
What's happening?
It's nothing. It's cold, so let's go inside.
As I began to speak, the door suddenly slammed shut.
The?
Get out. Cool your head and come back.
Hey, this is my house.
We're married, so it's my house.
In the cold under the snowflakes, I seemed to have been locked out. And not just me, my kids too. Finally, I understood. Those two wanted to kick me out and take over this house. How foolish I had been. The only ones I could rely on were my uncle. We desperately made our way towards their house on the cold, snowy evening. The surroundings gradually darkened, and the snowfall intensified. Under different circumstances, I might have enjoyed seeing the snow. My kids were walking, crying. When we reached the well-lit home of my uncle, tears welled up in me involuntarily.
Uncle David, I was driven out by Noah.
David responded,
I knew it. It was good not to submit that.
Tuh.
Anyway, come inside and warm up. Hazel and Iris were cold, weren't you? Everything will be fine now.
That night, we stayed at his house. I shared my story with David and his wife, and they listened attentively. As we contemplated our next steps, David said,
Let's reclaim Arya's precious home.
We spent Christmas at David's house, preparing Christmas dishes together. After a peaceful Christmas, I decided to return home temporarily, even though I wasn't keen. Entrusting my kids to David's wife, I headed home with Uncle's car. Parking the car in the driveway, I walked alone to the entrance and pressed the intercom.
Hello?
Noah answered.
It's me, Arya.
Arya? Where were you until now? Have you reflected on your actions?
What should I reflect on?
The intercom was cut, and shortly after the door opened, and Noah came out holding a piece of paper.
If you don't understand, it can't be helped. A wife like you will leave.
It was a divorce form.
Sign this.
I couldn't help but burst into laughter.
I can't divorce you.
Pence. That's right. If you divorce me, you'll be a divorced woman with 2 kids, twice divorced. You have no other choice. Apologize quietly and I might forgive.
We're not even married to begin with.
Huh?
I'm not your wife.
What?
We haven't registered our marriage.
What about the marriage application?
I didn't submit it, so we're not married.
No way.
My uncle, who was supposed to submit the application, lost it.
Oh no.
While the claim of losing the application was false, the fact that it hadn't been submitted was true. Noah became speechless, his face turning pale. At that moment, David arrived.
What? Your uncle is our CEO?
No, my bad. I mistakenly lost the application.
Haha, this is not a laughing matter.
Sorry. I heard rumors about you, so I held off submitting the application to observe the situation. I knew you were divorced and paying alimony and child support. I was aware of your divorce, but it seems you hid the fact that you have kids from Arya.
How did you know that?
I'm friends with the CEO of the company you used to work for.
Oh no.
Just coming to our company was fine, but remarrying my sweet niece is a different story.
So are you really Arya's uncle? Oh, Arya didn't tell you? Arya's father is my brother.
I didn't know that.
For the sake of making life easier for your mother, you married Arya, who owns a house.
What's wrong with trying to be filial?
What's wrong is taking away someone else's happiness. You need to cool your head. Get out of Arya's house.
You deceived us.
Deceived is a harsh word. If you two seem able to live peacefully, I plan to submit the application after discussing it properly. Besides, weren't you the one deceiving Arya?
Noah tore up the divorce form he held while sobbing. Thanks to David, I was able to reclaim the house left by my late husband. Noah and Mary moved out and rented a cheap apartment together. I heard Noah quit his job, worked part-time jobs for daily pay, and struggled to find a new job. Despite his efforts, he faced financial difficulties due to alimony and child support for his previous wife and kids. Additionally, Mary had a habit of overspending, making it challenging for him to keep up even when he worked hard. While she used utilities excessively in our house, it wasn't intentional. It was a habit even when they lived alone. Truth be told, not long after Noah left his job, I also quit mine. I didn't want rumors circulating at work, but more importantly, I wanted to spend a little more time with my kids. I felt guilty towards my David, who had taken care of me, but he encouraged my dream. Yes, I began my journey as a handmade children's clothing artist, working from home. Initially, I registered on handmade sales websites, participated in events, and later created an online shop. The positive response allowed me to expand to physical stores through consignment sales. Now, I'm preparing to launch my own company, learning the ropes from David. My kids have become more independent, and the day when they no longer wear the handmade children's clothes I create is approaching. However, the next dream is to dress my grandchildren. With this dream in mind, I lead busy yet happy days.